Hello YouTube, and welcome back to Brewing with Magic. Well, I was recently scrolling through Twitter and came across one of my favorite mono black archetypes, and that is Discard, and I think you're really gonna like it. But before we get into today's deck, if you'll do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. It's fast, it's free, but it means the world to me. Also, by the end of this video, would you please leave a comment and rate the video? We get 1 point for each for the YouTube algorithm, but if you do both, we get 4 points, and I know 4 is better than 2. So enough about all that, let's get into this mono black discard deck. First, let's talk about our discard cards. We have 4 copies of Dread Fugue, 1 black for sorcery, or you can pay 1 black, 2 colors and cleave it. Target player reveals their hand. You choose a non-land card from it with mana value 2 or less. That player discards that card, but if you paid the cleave price, then it's no longer with mana value 2 or less, it's any non-land card and discard it. So really nice option there. Early game, you throw it on turn 1 or turn 2 and you rip out one of their early cards. Late game, you get one of their better cards. Then we have 4 copies of Acquisitions Expert, 3 Check for Traps, 4 Elder Fang Disciplines, which, if you have an Elder Fang Discipline and an Acquisitions Expert in your hand, you want to throw the Discipline first, because that'll give you a Cleric. Then when you throw the Expert, you'll have a Cleric and a Rogue. Your opponent has to show you 2 cards for you to choose from and discard. So it's better that way. And then lastly, we have 4 Inscription of Runes. Very, very nice, versatile card in the deck. We're usually going to be using it to make our opponent discard 2 cards, but their hand will be empty pretty quick with a deck like this. So we might get to use some of those other modes later in the game. Then we have our removal package. We have 3 Infernal Grasps, which we don't want many more of that in the deck because we really don't have a whole lot of ways to be gaining life other than the tokens from our Sorin. So you got to be careful, especially early game. We have 3 Path of Peril, 2 black and 1 colors for a sorcery. Cleave for 4 colors, 1 white and a black. Destroy all creatures with mana value 2 or less, unless you cleaved, and then it's just destroy all creatures. Really kind of neat in this deck because we're okay with our early creatures getting wiped, and all of our good stuff costs 3 or 4, other than, of course, our tokens would go bye-bye, but there are situations where you can destroy all creatures with mana value 2 or less, and you get a bunch of value out of that, and you can still swing, or you can just wipe the board completely. I like the card a lot. Then we have 2 copies of Hagra Mauling, which is doing double duty as land. We only have 22 natural lands in the deck, so this brings us up to 24. Then let's get into our creature package. We have 4 copies of Graveyard Trespasser. This card is absolutely amazing in this deck because it has Ward, discard a card. So you're already messing with your opponent's hand over and over and over again. And then if they want to get rid of this card, they literally have to lose another card besides the card they cast to remove it. And the other thing I like about this is when you attack with it, especially against all these decks that are manipulating their own graveyard, you're eating their graveyard to death, especially if you get to the night side. Now you're exiling up to 2 cards from graveyards instead of 1. This card is an absolute beast in this deck. I like it in a lot of decks, but it's amazing in this deck as well. Then we have 2 copies of Hendrika Dominathi, 2 black, 2 colors for a legendary creature vampire at 1/3, has flying. At the beginning of combat on your turn, choose one that hasn't been chosen. Each player sacrifices a creature. You draw a card and lose a life. Transform Hendrika Domnitha. Man, that's a tongue twister for me. That is a big name. So this card looks like a lot of mana for not doing too much, but you got to think of it this way. You're probably going to have an Acquisitions Expert or an Elder Fang Discipline on the board. At least you hope so. You throw this down. They have a creature. Your first choice is probably, unless you need to draw a card, each player sacrifices a creature. You lose one of these. It already did its value. You're fine there. Then you're also going to be drawing a card, and then eventually you're going to be flipping it. You're going to get a 3/4 with flying, death touch, lifelink. All of that is amazing. The 2 black, 1 colors, each creature you control with flying, death touch, and or lifelink gets +1/+0 until on a turn isn't really huge in the deck. You're not going to be doing it a lot. However, it does trigger the tokens that you get from Sorin the Mirthless. Speaking of which, let's get into our Planeswalkers. We have 2 copies of, as I just said, Sorin the Mirthless. 2 black, 2 colors for a legendary Planeswalker Sorin with 4 loyalty. +1, look at the top card of your library. You may reveal that card and put it into your hand. If you do, you lose life equal to its mana value. -2, create a 2/3 black vampire creature token with flying and lifelink. And then -7, Sorin the Mirthless deals 13 damage to any target. You gain 13 life. So most of the time, you're going to be trying to create 2/3 vampire creature tokens. In my opinion, it's almost, depending on the board state, okay to minus this twice and get 2/3 vampire creature tokens. I think a lot of people would pay 4 mana for 2/3 flying life-linking tokens. But, you know, it's also okay to go -2 and then plus it, then -2, then plus. And then if you get to -7, you probably just win the game. Kind of a fun card in the deck. And then we have 3 copies of Lolth Spider Queen. You know what it does. Don't need to read that one at all. And let's get into our land package real quick. We have 2 Hive of the Eye Tyrants. Same reason we use creature lands in a lot of decks. It's you know, it gets around board wipes as well as it is a mana sink. And then, of course, this one, Hive of the Eye Tyrant, just like Graveyard Trespasser, eats your opponent's graveyard, which there's a lot of people manipulating their graveyard with either flashback or blood on the snow kind of stuff. So that's really nice. It also has Menace, which comes into play a lot. We have 12 swamps, 2 pathways, 2 of the slow lands, and then we have 4 copies of Hall of Oracles. So you might not have seen it a lot. It's tap for 1 colorless, or pay 1 and tap it, add 1 mana of any color, or you can tap it, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature, activate only as a sorcery, and only if you cast an instant or sorcery spell this turn. So that is the deck. It's pretty straightforward for a discard deck. We're trying to get our opponent to where they have no cards left in their hand. Keep your removal for any creatures that happen to get on the board, and then we take over the game with our creatures and planeswalkers to end it while they're struggling just to keep cards in their hand. So make sure you stick around till the end for the summary, and without further ado, let's go ahead now and get into some gameplay. Musho 69. Okay. Don't know what it means, but let's do this. When we go first, we have 2 lands, Hive and a swamp. We have Dread, I think it's Fuge, Elderfang Discipline, Inferno Grasp, Inscription of Ruin, and a Sorn. Let's keep it. Let's go ahead and lead with this, and let's go ahead and look at our opponent's hand. Choose a non-land card with mana value 2 or less. Let's get rid of that Hunt for Specimens. Land it is. Let's go ahead and throw this out on black, and let's go ahead and check for traps. Let's get rid of the Skullport Merchant, I guess. I don't think I care about... Nah, get rid of their blood on the snow. I need to hit a land. There it is. There it is. We need to keep hitting lands. Let's go ahead and inscription them. Let's make them discard 2 cards. They still have their Infernal Grasp. Okay. There's a Skullport Merchant. Land off the top? Oh, almost. Let's go ahead and get this out of here. Let's go ahead and get rid of... It doesn't really matter. It's creatures that I don't want in their graveyard. So they can Infernal Grasp it, but then they lose another card out of their hand. Their hand's empty. So we don't know what this is, but they would lose it. They did nothing. Ooh, okay. Let's go ahead and... Let's see if they kill it first. Let's get one of... I don't think it matters. See if they take it. So let's throw the Discipline, because then we get more. Since this is a Cleric and this is a Rogue, next turn we'll see more. Oh, why? Oh, they didn't want to lose their whole hand. But they do either way, don't they? So I don't know why they didn't go... Oh, yeah, why didn't they go for the... Interesting. Okay, they're going to Field of Ruin our Hive. That's fine. I don't know if that does much. Here they come. We get hit for 1. Oh, another land would be amazing. So we're just going to swing in for 4 and hold up removal in case they try to Faceless Haven us. They have to save 2 cards in a row for this now. Let's swing in for 4. Let's, once again, it doesn't really matter what we get rid of. And next. Boom! Down to 10 for the opponent. And the turn. They can't remove this for 2 turns because they have to save up. They're going to sacrifice and draw... Never mind, they can now if they hit a removal. That's fine. And we can destroy their hand next turn as well if they decide to hold on to something. They might double spell here. Eye Twitch coming down. Okay, here comes the Faceless Haven. We will instantly... Faceless Haven gets Infernal Grasp immediately. Got it. There's another Infernal Grasp. Let's go ahead and... Acquisitions Expert. Just get rid of the card in their hand. And let's go ahead and swing in for 4. They'll block. Let's get rid of Professor Onyx, and it doesn't matter. It's a tricky one because depending on what they get, let's see. Oh, they got an Environmental Sciences. Okay, interesting. Oh no! They're gonna keep stalling us out. Hey, finally, a land. Let's throw the Sorin. Let's create a 2/3 vampire.
Innistrad, my will
Vampire creature. Let's swing in with everything.
For me now.
Let's get rid of the Eye Twitch. They take 1. I knew they were gonna block, but it gets rid of the any like value from that Blood on the Snow. They draw land, so that's good for us. They have to pass the turn without casting a spell, so we're instantly gonna be getting value off this Graveyard Trespasser again. We're going to nighttime. There we go. I think I kind of want to close this out as soon as possible. This is only for creatures, and they don't run a lot of great creatures. So let's go ahead and do this to the Eye Twitch. They'll sack it in response. Cool. You got it. Necrotic Fumes is the play. Let's see if I can hit a land. I don't want to lose my creature that was there, so I guess I decline that. No point take. Oh, I see. I thought. Okay, let's go ahead and swing in with everything. Let's get rid of their Eye Twitch and their Faceless Haven. I guess let's see what that other card in their hand is in a second and see if I can't get rid of it. Okay, they go down to 3. Let's go ahead and see what this is. It's a land, so it didn't do us any good there. It's okay to have double spelled because they're gonna Necrotic Fumes the grave. Oh, okay. Well, I think they're gonna Necrotic Fumes the Graveyard Trespasser anyways. There it is. Oh. Then that's...
Without me.
I was gonna say, that's game over. Good game. Valentino. Okay, we go first. We have Hive, 2 Swamps, a check for traps, Infernal Grass, Graveyard Trespasser, and a Path to Peril. Let's go ahead and hold on to it. It's not bad at all. Start with the Hive. Next turn, we will be checking for those traps. Let's go ahead and check for them now. Meat Hook, Jadar, Headless, another Meat Hook. Let's get rid of Jadar. Dungeon Crawler, you got it. Let's go ahead and throw out the Graveyard Trespasser. We don't need to be. We need to take out our own cards. Here comes their Headless Rider. So let's go ahead and throw out the Elder Flame Discipline. into an acquisitions expert. They're going to try to hold on to that meat hook, probably. Next turn, I'm going to peril, most likely. Let's get rid of the meat hook for sure. And no attacks. And the turn, next turn, I'm going to path without kicking it. Oh, well, they still have their headless horse ride. Never mind, never mind, never mind. So, this just got bigger. I like that. Let's go ahead. They're going to flash that in is what they're going to do. So I think we go next. All attack. I don't need... Let's get... It doesn't matter. We'll get rid of these meat hooks. Next. At the end of the turn, they're going to flash this in. And when they do, next turn, I'll be able to... Oh, okay. I was going to... They're going to double block that. Okay. So let's go Dun and Infernal Grass the Headless Horseman. That's fine. I don't love it. And let's see. Let's go ahead and end the turn. That's good. Okay. Ouch. Down to 12. Okay, they lose a card. Let's see. Let's go ahead and destroy that, I guess. We don't have a whole lot of good plays here. We'll swing in for 2 just to have it done. And we end the turn. Hopefully they draw land. That's... Yep, ouch. We're down to 7. 2-turn clock, I need land now. Champion of the Parish is a good draw for them. We'll attack with the Discipline, Elderfang Discipline. If they hit another zombie, maybe I should have held them back so we could, yeah. Right now, we're losing because of land. We're losing to lands. We get smacked for 5 in the air. My turn. Well, let's see if we can't stabilize just a smidge. Sure as shoot can't be drawing cards, can we? And we'll just attack with the Acquisitions Expert just in case they hit a removal. Dungeon Crawler. I get the plus counter. They're coming in with both. We definitely have to block. And we have to block. They get to rethrow. This is the problem. Yep. Yep.
Do my will cannot be denied.
So let's go ahead and... We don't have... Yeah, so let's first attack. Okay, and then let's go ahead and path to peril. And let's go ahead and get our 2 1/1s out.
Aren't
And
I generous?
I mean, they can cast everything they need the rest of the game. I just want the creature out on the board. Basically, just in case they do anything crazy, we get more Lolth tokens. They're coming in with the... So they're just going to chip away at us every turn, because they're going to recast it. We get the counter on her. Yep. There we go.
I will cull the weak.
Another land. Not enough white, because I need one more land. I need 6, right? 6, so I need 7 out here to do it. So we are going to swing in with everything except the spider. Let's get rid of the headless horseman. If they hit removal off the top of the deck, they win the game. We're already gonna die, right? Let's just...
My children.
We're
will
already,
take care
like,
of
we're already dead if they hit us. So, another land it was. They're coming in. But now we get to put out some more spiders. One block. They recast it. Yep.
Subservience will be
Another
rewarded.
land. We go ahead and throw out the 2/1/1 spiders.
Aren't
We
I
swing.
the
Yes!
only one?
Oh, okay, Brew Crew. That is going to do it for Mono Black Discard. I enjoyed this deck. I like playing a discard deck every single time that a new set comes out. So this one definitely has more power than the last one, in my opinion. And it is fun to play. Quick change. I am going to drop 2 Hall of Oracles. And I am going to bring in 2 more Pathways. We don't really need a whole bunch more of the Shattered Sanctums. We only are really using white, actually, because of the Path to Peril. We need that white in there. So I like the ability to be able to put one of these on white if I ever get it, and then from there they can all go on black. And then if we hit a Shattered Sanctum, of course, then, you know, we're fine still. But we don't need a whole lot of white in the deck. So the Pathways make more sense to me than the Shattereds because they come into play untapped. So that's what the changes I'm going to make. Let's go over what I think is okay to craft right now so that you're not wasting wild cards. A lot of uncommons and commons in the deck so far, so those are okay. Inscription of Ruin, I've played this in a lot of decks. I think it's kind of safe to play, use your wild cards on, in my opinion. And then Path to Peril, I don't know if this is the board wipe of choice at the moment in the meta, so buyer beware on that one. I don't think it's going to be something you feel bad that you own later. It's not like it only goes in one kind of deck. Hagra Mauling is technically land, and if you are a subscriber to the channel, you already know this, but if not, land is always safe to craft in my opinion because they can go in so many different decks. Graveyard Trespasser, in my opinion, has been a great card. I think it's completely safe to craft in many different kinds of decks. I love the abilities on it. Hendrika, I don't know if you should be crafting that. I don't know how good she is. You could almost take this out of this deck and add in 2 other cards, another Sorin or another Infernal, another whatever you want, and it probably work fine. So if you don't own these, I wouldn't do it. If you have a lot of wild cards, you only need to craft 1 or I guess both. Go ahead, but just be careful on that one. I don't know how good it's going to be later. Sorin the Mirthless is another one that I've been having fun playing with it. I don't know how strong of a Planeswalker it is now. I don't know if it's like gonna see play once the the next rotation, which is still not quite, we got like 3 months plus still. I think February is when the next set comes out, so that one's a buyer beware. It's decent, but it's not the best in my opinion. Lolth, I think you craft away. It's just amazing. And then, like I said, with the Hagra Mauling, land is always safe to craft because it goes in many decks. That being said, a little caveat: I don't know about the Hall of Oracles. That one, maybe hold on to your wild cards. I just don't know if it's good enough to be crafting. Like if you own 1, 2, or 3, or 4, depending on how many you want to put in the deck, put them in. Maybe don't craft them. If you don't own any more than the amounts, just supplement it with other lands. I don't know if I would craft a whole bunch of those. So really hope you enjoyed today's deck. Like I said, if you would please not only comment, but also rate this video. We get more algorithm points that way, and it would really help us out. Subscribe to the channel. It's fast, it's free, and it means the world to me. Hit that notification bell so you know whenever we have new content come out. And as always, until next time, have a blast in the arena.